We got another quick hit story here. OpenAI vet Mira Murati, she's their former CTO.
Oh.
She launched her new startup this week, Thinking Machines Lab, and it's staffed full of former OpenAIers. 2/3 of the team exited OpenAI to come work for this new company. Mira Murati, of course, left OpenAI unexpectedly in late September. We heard rumors of behind-the-scenes personality clashes, but I did a lot of research on this yesterday and couldn't get a definitive, here's what happened behind the scenes at OpenAI. That includes Barrett Zoff. He was OpenAI's researcher. He's now Thinking Machines' new CTO, and former OpenAI chief scientist John Schulman is a co-founder along with Mira Murati. Zoff actually quit OpenAI on the same day that Mira Murati left in September. Something happened behind the scenes.
I mean, I think what happened was exactly what we saw during the firing of Sam Altman and the rehiring of him. Sam has taken control over the nonprofit and the for-profit. I think maybe the stage is big enough for one person from OpenAI, and you had a collection of incredibly talented people there. So if we were to make a list of like the 10 most important people from OpenAI, taking out Sam Altman, I don't know, 3 years ago, I wonder how many are still there. It's kind of, I think they've bled this talent. There's probably two reasons for it. One, there's some leadership style that Sam has, or the way he's decided to take it from an open source nonprofit to a closed for-profit. So there's, and the self-dealing or the deal making, which is, I know Sam for a long time, 20 years almost. He's really good at deal making. So I mean, maybe that rubbed people the wrong way, which is fine. Cultures change. I think they shouldn't be allowed to do it, or there should be some constraints on it. Let's put it aside. I think the second thing, that's happening here is Joshua Kushner, Jared's brother. He has a firm called Thrive. Thrive has been doing secondaries. What's a secondary? That's when an investor buys employee shares or early investor shares so that they can own a higher percentage of the company. So the company's issuing, $1 billion in new shares. And then they set up $1 billion to buy out the existing employees who have been there for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I think that's what happened here, is that they cashed out and they're like, hey, let me start a new thing where I'm in control and I get to make the decisions.
Yeah. So this new company focusing on AI alignment, which they define as encoding human values into AI models to make them safer and more reliable.
Okay, so she is leading with safety and reliability,
which is the same thing Ilya, I'm going to pronounce this, another OpenAI early innovator. His company, Superintelligence, is now also AI safety and protecting us from the evil robots to come.
I think that was everybody's original concept, was let's build this in a safe way. It was the mandate, and now it's not the mandate. Now the mandate is to maximize shareholder value, make as much money as possible, et cetera, and become a for-profit. So understandable. And I think this is OpenAI's biggest challenge. And you won't see it in the short term because they had a pretty good head start. They coined the term ChatGPT. It's become a brand. People use it instead of using Google or Bing. So it's like they've gotten a certain amount of credibility there.
In terms of consumer-facing AI, ChatGPT is super dominant, like surprisingly dominant, I think.
And that will take a little while for it to change, right? In the early days of search engines, Magellan and Lycos. Yeah, there were tons of different...
Opera.
Well, those were the browsers. And then on the search engine. So even with browsers, you had it too, right? You had a Netscape browser, a Lynx browser, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then now you use Chrome or Firefox. Long story short, I wonder what their innovation curve is going to look like when they lose those individuals. I don't know that they've replaced them with better people or hungrier people, but what I do know is every time one of those people leaves and creates a competitor, you've got a double challenge. So this is why Google was so brilliant. They dumped money into the laps of their top talent. It's such an absurd amount of money that and such a low expectation of performance that they literally created a meme on the Silicon Valley TV show with Hooli, where people would rest invest and big head would hang out on the roof with other people resting, investing, getting sun. And it was kind of like a no-show job from The Sopranos at the Esplanade. So why did they do that? And why was it brilliant? Well, if you pay somebody $2 million a year to sit on the roof for 5 years and they make $10 million, you seem like the sucker. If that person leaves and creates a Google competitor and takes but 1% market share, well, that costs you $10 billion in market cap. No, $20 billion in market cap. So that was the strategy. It was explicit in Silicon Valley. They just wanted to corner the market on technologists and people who could create competitors. If Sam was smart, he would have, and I'm not saying Sam's not smart, but a better strategy for Sam would have been to lock these folks up with deals that were so absurd. If the company is going from 150 billion to 350 billion, he should have literally given the top 10 people $1 billion in equity to stick around.
To not go do this.
Not go and do this. Not because they're worth $1 billion each, nobody is, but blocking future competition would be worth it. Shout out Lena Khan. All right, you didn't start your company to run payroll, did you? Of course not. We all know that. Gusto is here to help. Gusto is going to help you run your payroll and handle all your benefits, onboarding, and HR all in one place. The market agrees. 300,000 businesses trust Gusto today, and you can too. As your startup scales, Gusto is going to grow with you. You got state and federal taxes handled for your staff around the country. Gusto does all that. And hey, maybe it's finally time for you to offer a 401k plan for your team, right? Gusto's got you on that. And you might need to get your compliance sorted, right? Well, 3 out of 4 employers say Gusto helps them be government compliant. And even better, Gusto is simple, easy to use software. So you can focus on what matters, building your startup. So here's your quick call to action. Do you want all Gusto has to offer with no hidden fees? Well, how about a discount? Try Gusto and get 3 months free. Gusto.com/twist. That's GUSTO.com/twist.